Hello, students. Welcome back. I'm glad you are again here. Today, we are tackling something that sounds obvious but is actually really fascinating once you make a decision to deep dive into it. So, my basic question here is, what do banks actually do? I mean, we all use them, but most of us could not explain their purpose in detail beyond that they hold your money. So, in next some minutes, let's fix this understanding. Financial intermediary. The first and the most fundamental objective of a bank is to act as a financial intermediary. Now, think like it is a bridge. On one side, you have ordinary people, say workers, families who are saving money, while on the other side, you have businesses that need this money, or in other words, capital to manufacture goods, trade, and grow. Now tell me, without a bridge, will it be possible for these two ends to meet each other? Actually, the answer is no. Now that's where the banks step in. The banks collect deposits from savers, pays them some interest, and lend this money to borrowers at a slightly higher rate of interest. Now the difference between this is called as spread. This is how the bank earns its income. And here's the clever part. The depositors never have to worry about whether the loan gets repaid, yes or no. It is the bank that absorbs all this risk. You sleep soundly at your home. The bank does the worrying. This mobilization of funds is not just good for banks. Actually, it also drives the employment, fuels the industries, and powers the entire economies around the globe. In fact, governments actively use banks to channelize money into various priority sectors. Say an example: agriculture, small businesses, rural areas, and areas where society needs to grow. Second point is about payment systems. Now, this is the second big objective, and this one will change how you look at your wallet. It is that banks are the backbone of our payment systems. Imagine if every transaction you made required some physical cash. Say an example, buying a car, you would need a suitcase of notes. Paying rent, same story. Students, banks solve this problem completely. You write a check or make a digital transfer. What you are doing? You are essentially ordering your bank to move money on your behalf. No notes, no coins, no suitcase required. Here's a mind-blowing fact. The volume of transactions that are happening through checks and various electronic transfer mechanism is actually astronomically larger than all the physical currency which is existence. We have basically built an invisible monetary system on top of the one which is visible. And banks are those entities that are actually making it work. Funds here move from one payer's account in Mumbai to a payee's account in Chennai within few seconds. Well, that's not magic, that's modern banking infrastructure. And then there's a third and the last category, what bank calls as utility services. Though honestly, some of these are not other at all. They are actually very useful. Beyond deposits and loans, your bank can collect payments from third parties for you, handle foreign exchange when you are traveling or doing some international business, sell your investments in mutual funds and shares or insurance products, even gold coins in some cases. Do you remember old stories about burying treasure or hiding valuables under the mattresses of your home? Friends, banks still offer safe deposit lockers for that very same reason. Your physical valuables, your documents, your irreplaceables stored securely in bank. Each of these services helps bank earn something, and that something is called as commission income. That is the fees for facilitating the transaction rather than lending the money. It diversifies how banks earn, and it also diversifies what they offer you. So, to bring it all together, banks are not just vaults. They are intermediaries that put savings to productive use. They are the infrastructure of our payment system. And they are the service providers that make financial life easier in dozen of quiet ways. Understanding this helps you to see the economy differently. Every deposit you take, every transfer you send is part of a system that keeps the whole thing moving. And if you have found this useful, do share it with your classmate who would be studying for exams or have a general interest. And I'll catch you in the next episode. Thank you so much.